Hi, Lakewood. This is Miss Kiefer, and what I wanted to do today was go through the annual CCP meeting information for students and families. Today's March the 22nd, and it's hard to get to CCP meetings now, so I wanted to go through this information so that any family that's interested is able to participate for next year. So this is going to be a full CCP meeting, so it's going to take a few minutes. So a lot of this information is mandated by the state of Ohio that schools let families know about. So CCP used to be called post-secondary, used to be called dual enrollment, and it allows students that qualify to earn high school and college credit at the same time for taking courses at the college. And in order to do that, the kids have to be accepted by the college. And that means that they have to meet testing requirements and be eligible for those courses by the college. And this applies to public universities. Some private universities participate, but not all of them do. And kids can apply and attend CCP courses at multiple institutions at the same time. And you got to be an Ohio resident. So the courses that you can take are determined by your eligibility. So for example, you may test eligible for one subject area, maybe math, but maybe you aren't eligible for college English. So that would kind of determine the courses you can take. And the courses can satisfy high school and college credit at the same time. Generally, the rule is if the college course is 3 hours or more, it equals 1 high school credit or Carnegie unit. And in order to earn that credit, for the college course, you have to complete it. So you can't withdraw early, and it has to be transcripted college credit. These courses can be taken during the fall, summer, and spring. And these courses can be at the high school. We're very lucky at Lakewood that we do have adjunct faculty that teach college courses bell to bell, so you don't have to, drive anywhere and do any of that. You can also take them at the campus, and then online courses are also eligible too. So the first step for students that want to participate is they have to be eligible. And that's based on exam assessment scores. So students might have an ACT score. Generally, it's 18 in English, 22 in the reading, and 22 in the math section of an ACT. And those ACT scores need to be received by the college prior to whatever admission deadline they have for CCP. So those can be as early as May 1. But if students don't have an ACT, if they're younger and haven't tested yet, colleges do administer their own placement tests. Generally, that's an AccuPlacer, and those are administered at the campus. Typically, Central Ohio Technical comes to Lakewood and administers that, and we've got that date set also. So different colleges have different requirements, so it's important to stay ahead of wherever you're making application so that you don't get missed. So in terms of eligibility for assessments, students are going to review scores using statewide assessments, and typically that's an ACT. They're not interested in PSAT or end of course test scores or anything like that. And if a student isn't college level, some colleges will look at overall GPA of a 3.0 in that subject area, and generally a letter of recommendation. So if you can't meet those testing requirements, this is something for you to consider. Generally speaking, though, I don't really support students that can't make that college level cut. So that recommendation typically doesn't come from me. So when students participate, they have to apply to that college for admission. So you'll go to that college's website and apply just like a typical student would. There's no cost for those applications. And there could be some additional deadlines or paperwork. Sometimes there's a orientation that CCP students have to do. But in terms of if you get in and kind of what happens with you, it's always the college that's going to make that admission decision. It doesn't have to do with the high school. And then after you have made application and met those requirements, then you can register for classes. And this is something that kids get a little bit confused about. So the college is going to meet with the student and discuss what courses you're able to take. I've got a lot of students that reach out to me about scheduling for college courses, and it's quite an off-site thing. So you would make an appointment with admissions at that site and then schedule courses. So in terms of what kids can take, I can help with understanding graduation requirements. And if you're interested in, say, taking your U.S. government course as a CCP, I can help you look at college courses that would satisfy the U.S. government course that you have to take to graduate. Again, it's not comparative government. That wouldn't be the same. Um, but just know that, like at Lakewood, for example, we require 22 credits to graduate, not the minimum 20. So again, meeting with the college advisors, they can help you decide the courses to take, and it's going to be based on those cut scores and any course prerequisites for college, and then any course rules that might be. So something to keep in mind in terms of college courses. So typically students need to complete level 1 courses at any institution where they enroll. And these are the first 15 or level 1. They're called different things. These are easily transferable courses, and they're in generally our core courses: English, math, science, social studies, and IT. And they can be used towards a technical certificate, and you typically need to take these before you kind of move through a program. After you complete the level 1, you can move on to level 2. And these are courses above those entry-level freshman courses. So sometimes kids are a little bit disillusioned that they find out that they can't sort of roll through the sonography program. And what you need to do first is those first 15 or those level 1s. Things that you're not eligible to take through CCP are things that are one-on-one instruction, study abroad, really high fees, PE courses, pass fail, and then remedial courses or religious courses. So if you didn't qualify for math and you were placed into a lower college level math, you can't take that via CCP on the district's dime. You would need to pay for it. Other requirements with CCP: the grades earned in CCP are the same grades that are on your high school transcript. So they're factored into your high school and college GPA, and that can be a great thing, but that could also be a really tough thing if a kid has a tough term. Um, and then grades are weighted in CCP the same way they're rated for advanced placement. We don't have international baccalaureate here. So an A in a CCP course is a 5.0, a B is a 4.0, weighted just like our AP. And then how many courses can a student take? So typically, kids can take 30 semester hours in 1 year and have it paid for under the program. And with a 4-year eligibility, the maximum number of credits is 120. So if a 7th grader that was eligible started this course, they would max out at the 120 as well. So just be aware that if a student enrolls in more than 30 hours in a year, then they would need to do one of two things: either drop that course that sent them over or pay for the entire course and books and tuition and things that set them over. So if you're at 27 hours and you took a 5-hour course, you would pay that entire 5-hour course and any fees associated with it. So some of the things to know about CCP before you start is some of the differences. And with one of them, testing is a big difference. Typically in high school, you get tests much more frequently, weekly, or at the end of chapters. And in colleges, tests are given a lot less frequently, and they typically cover more material. Another difference between high school and college is study time. Typically in high school, your required homework is 1 to 3 hours per day. And in college, the standard rule is 2 to 3 hours of homework for every hour spent in class. So that can be quite a lot of outside work. And then knowledge acquisition in terms of high school, a lot of information is provided in class. There could be research outside, but it's generally minimal. And in college, coursework is more independent, longer writing, and out-of-class research. grades. In high school, you get grades on quizzes, tests, and homework. In college, generally, there's fewer tests and homework assignments, and a lot of times those aren't factored into your grade at all. And another difference between CCP and high school is in high school, parents can be strong advocates and they work closely with teachers and counselors. And a major difference is in college, parents can serve as mentors and support. But according to FERPA, the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, it protects student educational records. So parents do not have access to those unless they're given access by their student. So some of the differences with CCP and the benefits actually, students can earn high school and college credit at the same time. They can get a head start. If you're interested in a program at a college, you can actually look at those courses of study and start to tick those off and finish them before high school. And then experiencing college early and understanding those expectations. You may go to a campus and realize you don't want to go to college there, and that's great information, and it didn't even cost you anything. And then, of course, tuition and textbooks, and textbooks can be a huge expense once you get to college. Some of the consequences with CCP, so occasionally we do have students that underperform, that don't do well in college courses, and it's important that you understand that for a lot of reasons. And you're starting your college transcript. Nobody wants to start a college transcript with bad grades. Um, But if a student fails or withdraws too late from a course, the district can require the student and family to repay the cost of the course, and that is something that Lakewood does do. If you fail a course or withdraw late, those fees are passed on to the family. And then the grades earned are on your transcript permanently. So again, that could be a great thing if you do well, but if you don't, it could really affect your GPA negatively. And then further, if students fail courses or withdraw often, future financial aid can be negatively affected. So, something to understand with CCP is you are starting your financial aid clock in terms of your eligibility for financial aid. So, what's really important with CCP is that you are working towards something, a degree program, because what you don't want is at the end of college when you're finishing your degree and perhaps really need that financial aid for you to be cut off and timed out because you're starting it early. So CCP is great, but you definitely want to be working towards something rather than just sort of taking classes willy-nilly. So if students do perform poorly, they can be placed on CCP probation. They could have CCP dismissal or be on academic probation from the college. And a little bit about this stuff. Students are placed on CCP probation when they earn less than a 2.0 in CCP courses or withdraw from 2 or more in a term. And then when you're on probation, you can only enroll in one CCP course. You can't enroll in a college course in the same subject area where you earned that D or the F. So you need to go into another subject area. And so further, if you're on probation and you don't increase your GPA to a 2.0 during that term, you'll be placed on dismissal. When you're on dismissal, students cannot enroll in CCP courses. And at the end of the term, the students can request an appeal to be reinstated. And again, these rules are there because this program does not work out for every single student. So what I always tell students is make sure you're where you're supposed to be. And if you're not, meet with admissions and make sure you get a class change or stay ahead of those deadlines. So in terms of probation, you can appeal it to take a course in this subject. And dismissal, within 5 days of being dismissed, the student can submit an appeal to the secondary school to appeal the dismissal. And so we do have a policy for students that do want to get reinstated if they do underperform. In terms of CCP and expenses, so at public universities, there's no cost to students and families for tuition, for books, or anything like that. Now, if you are interested in a private university for CCP, there could be some fees associated with those. And then, of course, optional expenses, things like parking, are not covered by the district. So support services for students. So the high school counselors, Mr. Sikorsky and myself, will provide assistance to CCP students, but you've also got college advisors that can help with course selection and academic assistance. And so you can have those same services that every other student has. Athletes can also participate in CCP. So OHSAA does have requirements in terms of how much that you need to take. And it's important for CCP athletes to know that summer term is not used for OHSAA compliance. And then in terms of course credit transfer, a lot of times kids start CCP courses at one institution and the plan is to transfer to another. And it's important to be a savvy consumer of your education. So general ed requirements, those level 1, first 15, transfer to Ohio public universities. So if you were going to head to a private institution in the end, just know that those courses may not count the same as you took them. An English course, if it counts, might fall into elective if you go to a private. And then these courses are not guaranteed for out-of-state institutions. So here's a website, transfercredit.ohio.gov, where you can check and see what the courses are. It's pretty cool. You can actually see what composition 113 is called at another public institution, for example, but there's not private institutions on that website. And so in terms of college ready, I talked about those cut scores with the ACT, but also the emotional and social transition for college expectations are something to consider, and time management and organizational skills. College ready also means that students earning those GPAs are going to, again, be starting a college GPA, and that you're also starting your financial aid clock. So some important deadlines to keep track of. In terms of CCP, students need to complete and return the intent to participate form. And so that can be emailed to me, or you and a parent could say, hey, I watched your video, I'm all good for CCP. Just sort of, working in the times we're in. And then standardized tests like the ACT and SAT are generally required for admission as well. So deadlines for colleges and universities, you definitely want to stay ahead of these. And if you're interested in that summer term I talked about, those courses can start in early May. So this is the CCP website for the state of Ohio, so it has a lot more information. But this is information specific to Lakewood. So our CCP stats, so for 1920, we had students enroll in a total of 432 college credit hours, and at $100 a credit hour, which is a low estimate, that's over $43,000 that our students have saved with CCP. So the program is huge. So in terms of courses that we offer, for next year, these are within our English department. So typically kids take English 112 Composition 1 for 3 semester hours, and then the second semester they take American Lit, and then the second year they take English 113 for the fall, and then in the spring they do Brit Lit. Now this Speech 100 is an elective course. These are all through Central Ohio Technical. This Speech 100 does not count for an English, so it's an elective, but it's a great elective course. Other courses we've got IT courses. 2 of them are CCP and 4 are articulated, which means that when kids enroll in Central Ohio Technical after they graduate, they can pick up articulated courses, but you have to enroll first. And then we are slated to run some other CCP courses where we bring in a college faculty, PC applications, CAD fundamentals, and engineering technologies. So again, meeting those requirements. For those universities, you can be eligible for these. So these are all partnered from Central Ohio Technical. So if kids are interested in the courses at Lakewood Bell to Bell, they need to apply to COTC. And then There's a couple of contacts here. Again, college courses are scheduled through the university. Now, the ones bell to bell I can help with, but if students want to take online courses or travel, then these admissions reps can help. And then in terms of COTC admission specifics, those cut scores for ACT, again, 18, 22, 22. You have to complete your application, and the plan is for COTC to come to Lakewood on May the 27th at 12:30. That's after our exams, to administer the AccuPlacer to our students that maybe don't have an ACT score or don't have this cut score. So this is a place for you to go to prepare for the AccuPlacer. So you want to get it the first time, so just become familiar with that test. OSUN. So this is a more rigorous CCP program. They have a strict May 1 deadline, and they have to have test scores from ACT. So you can't have them from a transcript. You need to take the ACT and then go into your ACT account and send them straight to OSU. And there's a high school counselor form that needs to be in by 5/1. There's your admission rep. This is how you apply online. And unfortunately, OSUN does not accept AccuPlacer scores from another institution. So you would need to take that AccuPlacer with OSU. And then you can see these deadlines are, again, a lot sooner because it is a rigorous program. So for summer, it was in February. For fall, it's in May. And then if you wanted to enroll in spring, it's in October. OU also participates, again, public universities. That's the May 1 deadline. This is where you apply. They also want your ACT directly from ACT, and they will take an AccuPlacer. And so these are your contacts if you're interested in CCP at one of the OU campuses. Mount Vernon NAS is next. So this is what they're looking for. You're required to attend an orientation with Mount Vernon and apply online. Zane State. And they have a pretty good website in terms of what they're looking for, but ACT cut score or AccuPlacer, and they also require an orientation. Columbus State, again, these could be in person or online, and these are their requirements, and you can also apply online. And kids apply to multiple institutions. That's totally fine. So there is a Google form for me to keep track of students and who's applying where and where I need to send transcripts. Of course, those are being sent electronically at this point. So this Google form is actually within the kids' classrooms. You could always email me if you need to get to it. And if a student, makes another application, just fill out that form again, and I'll send those transcripts where they need to go. So these are some dates from ACT and SAT, and a lot of questions because, what is really going to happen with these state tests? We're not really sure at this point how these are going to be for the spring. So if you're interested in CCP, having gone through this information, the first thing you'll want to do is, number one, says complete the counseling form. So this is actually listening to this with you and a parent. So email me and say, hey, Ms. Kiefer, checked out your YouTube. And then the intent to participate is a form that's in your classroom, and you could scan it to me or take a picture. And then, of course, this Google form, which is going to tell me where you're going to make application and where I need to send things. The next thing you need to do is apply to the college that you're going to make application to. And I have all those college application links within the Google form as well. Number 5, complete the CCP application session. So my plan was to be there on Tuesday, April 7th in the Student Success Center to help you guys make application. I want you guys to try and apply to the colleges by yourself. If you need help, definitely send an email. But we need those applications kind of buttoned up and locked in. Number 6, if you need to AccuPlacer, again, we're set for May the 27th in the afternoon. And you can indicate if you need AccuPlacer in the Google form that I noted in number 3. So hopefully you're feeling a little better about this information. So my name is Valerie Kiefer. I'm the CCP coordinator at Lakewood. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help you through this process. Thank you so much.